Hello, Internet. Welcome to Comic Book Talk Podcast for the week of August 14th, 2014. I'm Ticketmaster, joined by
Buff Larkin. Tekken, I got a question for you that's not even comic related, but it's something that's going to happen to you down in Wichita and up here for me up in Ontario, Canada. And I want to ask you a question. It's fair season. It's getting to be fair season. Is there a fair down in Wichita?
There's a state fair.
There's a state fair where everybody shoots each other?
No.
Close enough. If you go to the state fair, have you ever been to your state fair?
Yeah.
Excellent. Have you been, and does it have like cotton candy?
It's a bunch of it's a thing. It's kind of hard to describe, but it's extravagant. It's an experience.
It's an extravaganza of awesomeness.
Yeah. Right. Well, I wouldn't say awesomeness.
Cotton candy, and kettle corn.
There's food there, yeah.
And do they have this? And this is what I might be trying in 2 days. Does it have chocolate chicken?
I don't think so.
Fried chicken dipped in chocolate, served to you on a plate. Bam! I just heard that's a thing. Figure that out. Would you eat chocolate chicken?
Ugh, that sounds very unhealthy. I'm not sure.
And apparently, they also have something called chocolate ketchup.
Ew, that's disgusting.
I'm just saying, that's what they have to offer. I might actually buy a chocolate chicken, wrap it up in aluminum foil to keep it warm, put it in a box, mail it to Wichita, Kansas, and just see how much you like it, okay? Order me 2, that's what I would say. 1 for me, 1 for my buddy Tekken. I think that would be awesome. And guess where And guess what? I'm not having this conversation where I usually have it because my children have commandeered the basement. They're sleeping down there today or last night because they're good children and they just wanted to have a different experience. So they're sleeping down on the couches down in the basement. So I have to move up here on the laptop. Isn't that fun?
I guess so.
With no chocolate chicken right now. There you go. But listen, Tekken, I just want to say thank you very much, as always, for inviting me on to your lovely little video show about comic books, because it's vacation time, baby, and that's the big deal for me, because this year, as last year, I went and I picked up a couple of Marvel Essentials, which I love. I think that's my newfound addiction, is Essentials. I don't spend big money on them, because usually they put them on sale for like $8, but that's like 25 issues for $8. Yes, they're black and white, but I'm not racist. So I like to buy them. And last year I picked up Power Man and Iron Fist, which is the greatest symbol of non-racism ever. And so this year I decided, what the heck, let's do it again. I bought the previous edition of Power Man and Iron Fist, and it was lots of good and lovely goodness.
So is the old Iron Fist the same dude that's the current Iron Fist?
Yes.
Okay.
And the same Power Man is the same Power Man. Except he hasn't been tainted by Bendis. I'm just saying. And did you know that in the series Alias, that Luke Cage, when he took out his lovely girlfriend, that Jessica there, that they proceeded to do the nasty?
I did not know that.
Yeah. And let's just say he went digging in the wrong hole. That's all I'm saying. Just saying. Rabbit went down the wrong hole. Anyways, Tekken, you can cut that out then.
I don't edit this.
You edit it. Edit right. Yeah. That was not good. Anyway, that's good. Anyway, I'm thoroughly enjoying Power Man and Iron Fist. That's good. And I also picked up the Hulk, which is a nice thick. That one I paid full price for because I love myself some Hulk. Hulk smashes. And have you ever read the Hulk, the old Hulk books?
Not besides the first issue.
Oh, of course. Of course. I'm not talking about like first issue of this year. You mean the first ever issue of the Hulk, right? Like back when he was gray.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm picking up these older ones from the later 60s, early 70s, and they're just fantastic. They're trying their best. You know, they take the Hulk and say, well, what can we do with Hulk this time? Oh, let's send him to the subatomic world. Oh, what do you don't like that? Let's send him out of it. Let's send him again out in outer space. How? I don't know. He just shows up there. There's some cockamamie idea. Okay, let's just send him this way, and let's send him up in Canada where he fights Wolverine, and let's send him over across this. Let's have him on a rocket and blow it up, and then his body goes flopping over across the ocean. So he's over in England for a while. It's a fantastic read. It's a nice little one. You can just say, what the heck, let's just go with the story and have some fun. As opposed to the stories nowadays where we have to, it has to, point A goes to point B to point C, and it's kind of like, this is like, it's nice blockbuster-like reading for the summer. Something you can just read and just have it dumb you down, and you say, but you're happier for the experience.
I would rather have a point A to B to Z story though than that was just a weird. I mean there is like filler issues. That's what those are for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I hate filler issues. It's because it's like, okay, here's the main story, and all of a sudden, blop, right in the very middle or near the end, it's like, oh, here's something with a new artist who well, there's a reason why he's the artist of a filler issue, because you can't, it looks like a Stickman Spider-Man. It's like, there you go. But it's the other stuff. I just like, it's nice to have, like, because I know you're going to bring up Uncanny Avengers. You're going to say, oh, this is the best, because it's this long, elongated story that pays off with celestial juices. and bam, and I'll give you that. But it's nice to once in a while have a book that kind of, you read it, and it's a nice story. It kind of cleans out all the cobwebs in your noggin, and then you can just go on. Like, I picked up Saga. Oh my goodness, Tekken, I got a question for you.
Okay.
How come every time they start a new section, a new little part of Saga, there always has to be some kind, at the very first page, some kind of shocking thing. As soon as I flip it open, there comes this little TV out of some woman's woohoo, as the kid. I think that is the correct clinical term for it, is a hoo-hoo. Okay, turn over the page, hoo-hoo. I was like, come on.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Brian K. Vaughan why he did that.
Well, can I say hoo-hoo? What's up with the hoo-hoo? How with the hoo-hoo?
Well, it was like that on the first one when
yes.
when they popped out Hazel.
Yep, exactly. It's like, hello. I'm sorry. There you go. But I'm really, I read the last 3 issues, and
maybe that's what it is. You can't have life without death, and there's a lot of death in Saga.
And then some. And then some. Did you know you could die from diarrhea?
I did not know that.
I think that's the number 1 cause of death in Wichita, Kansas. So
I'm pretty sure it's not.
it's the gunshots. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at that one myself. Anyways, but it's a very interesting read. Of course, now the Hazel's on, no, Hazel's not. Hazel's the baby, and so Hazel's, I like her. And then the father is almost getting his Mac on with the dancing instructor. And is that what they call it now, Mac on? Is that correct terminology?
Sure.
All right. And then the mom is hopped up on the goofballs now.
That was a great picture when she was all, I've been in the deep end of the pool, but it just gets all druggy, or not druggy, but like that one word I can't think of right now, hallucinogenic and stuff.
Yes. Now, are you going to take that big panel, that one page panel, and just blow it up into a poster and put that over top of you in your house?
No.
Oh, I thought you liked it so much you'd want to blow it up, put it over in your house. So when people come in, they see, oh, what's that all about? What's that naked woman doing, all floating all over the place? Don't ask questions, is what I tell him. To say, well, people can die from diarrhea. That's all you say, and that'll fix it up. But it's really, really pushed. I like what's happening. So therefore, Prince Robot now has found out that Lady Robot is dead, which I thought was just a weird twist.
Yeah.
And then
especially when she eats it, 'cause it's like, oh, you want me to tell you what my name is? And he doesn't. He's like, so what's your name? Oh, that's okay. That's great. Stab, stab, stab.
Exactly. You don't talk to crazy people. I'm surprised you talk to me, to be honest with you. That's number 1. Don't talk to crazy people. The second, do talk to me. There you go. But I got a secret I have to tell you, Tekken.
Okay.
Just between you and me and everybody listening to this lovely video thing of yours, I went to the comic book store the other day, and I cut my books back because some of these books just weren't doing it for me anymore. I was buying them out of habit. So can you guess the 3 books I kept?
Saga, New Avengers, and
Mr. B? No.
I'm trying to think. It's like, Batman? No, not Batman.
No.
I don't know what you're reading besides those 2.
Yeah, exactly. I kept Uncanny Avengers for Axis, but that's only it because that's the next big storyline, right? I kept those 3 because those 3 have kept me entertained. Now, saying that, if Moon Knight still had Warren Ellis, I would have kept that. But he's leaving after 6, and I saw the little preview they had of the next Moon Knight. I'm going, ugh. No, so basically I would tell you this. Pick up the first, if there's a trade, yes, volume, pick it up, because that was fantastic. 6 fantastic issues of greatness.
That's what I'm doing with a lot of the stuff I dropped. Is like I didn't want to keep getting it on a weekly basis. I was going to try to see if I could get it in trade and see if. But I think my reading habits, or like the way I read, is like I'm just an issue reader. I don't think I pick up the volume. I don't think I'll read it because it's just not the format I'm used to. Because I picked up the.
Well, you want that instant gratification. You don't want.
Yeah. I don't like be waiting for the the stuff that's already happened to come out. I want to like read it as it happens.
It's the same thing with video games, right? You want to buy, say, Mass Effect comes out, right? Mass Effect 4 come out. Okay, I want that. But the thing is, if you wait on it, then you'll never pick it up. That's
not true.
Yes, it would be. Yes, it is.
No, exactly.
Yes, it is. See, it's kind of like, oh, I want to pick up FIFA, and FIFA comes out, and I go, wait a second, let's just wait till it comes out used. And then it comes out used, and you go, well, let's wait for, another couple months and it'll drop. And then by the time it drops, then you say, I don't want FIFA.
Because with the PlayStation Plus, whenever there's like a free game that I like been wanting to play, and it's old, and like even though I didn't buy it, and then I get it for free, I'll play it. And be like, oh, okay, that was cool.
Okay, let's say if you can get, well, the thing is, if it was worth something, you had a monetary value to it, you wouldn't have picked it up.
I would have picked it up eventually.
Eventually.
I would have waited for the price to be low.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that's the reason. Like, if you don't buy it unless it's free, you won't pick it up. It's like if it say they came this deal when it came to comic books, and it was like 500 number ones for free, and you picked it up, right?
Yeah.
That's a great deal. Now, how many of those books would you read?
I don't know. But they're free, so I don't care.
Can I take a yes?
Yeah, sure. Hey, I read like 3 or 4.
Oh, 3. Oh, now you've doubled it now. Like you read the Hulk. What else?
Yeah.
What else did you read?
Spider-Man. And then I read Ultimate X-Men. There's like a one-shot. And then there's some other one-shot after Schism I read.
Is Schism what happens after the Celestial Juices?
No.
Okay. Or is that before the Celestial Juices? Oh my goodness. Old jokes still work. Anyways, but yes, so I will say this. I picked up my books last week. A lot of it was New Avengers, Uncanny Avengers, Wonder Woman, which was eventually going to wrap up. I thought it was over with by now, but I think there's still one more issue, and then Batman. It was like blah.
Really?
That wasn't big. But the thing is, they charged me extra for Batman because it was this big, extra long book.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was like a $5 double size.
Yeah, I got your $5 right here. Thanks, crotch. Anyways, but. I think you ruined it for me, Tech, because it's like
I ruined it. How'd I ruin it?
Because last week you said, "Oh, Batman's boring." Boring.
I didn't say it was boring. I just said it took its time getting there.
There you go, boring. And I think it did.
I picked it up this week though because I was like, "Yay! It's a preview to the future, Batman Eternal! Yay!"
Oh, is that what it is now?
I haven't read it yet though, so I don't know. It just says the events of Batman Eternal have put Gotham City in a tailspin, but Batman is focused on finding a killer who has haunted his hometown in secret for years. That's all the byline says. I haven't read it yet.
No, blah.
So it has to do with Batman Eternal, but
And have you read Batman Eternal? No.
No, I'm not reading that. It's weekly, so no thanks.
Exactly. And you're right to do that. It's like, meh. But anyways, that's good. But anyway, like I said, I picked up Moon Knight last week also, and it was a very good read. What else did I pick up last week that was very good? Well, from Marvel. Oh, I tell you, Swamp Thing last week.
Actually, you did not talk about Swamp Thing.
No, but I picked it came out last week. Swamp Thing was...
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I would have thought you were reading. So every time you talk about Swamp Thing or Earth 2, you're always gushing over them.
Yes, and I will say that Swamp Thing could be... If I take out Uncanny Avengers, I might throw them back in Swamp Thing, because that is a fantastic read. A fantastic read. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Of course, dealing with the whole wolf and it just... The Swamp Thing, when he dissolved the Parliament of the Green, took two of the members of the Green out with him, and they became flesh again. And so they didn't like that. So they've been plotting for the last couple months to kind of take him on and take him out, right? And so death and carnage has happened. The turn has happened. They killed off another one of their Parliament of the Green guys, the good one, and therefore it left Swamp Thing and his kind of protector to kind of take him out, right? And then finally there was twists, turns, backstabbing. It was all good. And then, of course, Swamp Thing's friend and protector, she was fighting off against the lady bad girl. And so all she did was, he says, I've been around for like a couple 100 years. So all she did was do a couple well-placed chops to the neck, broke her neck, left her, sadly enough, quadriplegic. But that's how you take care of a bad guy right there, a bad girl. Just dun dun. Oh, you're done. What are you gonna do now? You crazy lady. Boom. There you go. It was like, wow. Like that is intense. That's vertical intense is what that was, and that's what I want to see from this book. I want to see that line between DC and Vertigo blur, and therefore you get to have more excitement. When Swamp Thing first came out, you're thinking, oh, I'll give it a shot. And what really enticed me into the series was the fact that all of a sudden, like these guys were hunting something, and all of a sudden they got infected, and all of a sudden their heads turned on their bodies, and all of a sudden they're walking backwards. And like, that's cool. That's cool crap. That's what it is. And it's like, that's what I want to see out of this book, Swamp Thing, every month. Cool. I'm sorry, taking off to it. Cool shit. Cool shit happen. I can read other stuff and be entertained by it, but when it comes to Swamp Thing and the pedigree and the history of it, I want to see cool shit. That's your header for this week. I want to see cool shit happen. There you go. Also, Earth 2, we got to see a resolution of what and who Superman was. The big everything. Oh, Superman's gone bad. Oh, he's kicking everybody's ass, which he was. He was kicking everybody's ass, and finally he met his match with the new Superman of Earth 2, and it turned out that he was. Do you want me to spoil it for you? No.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
He was Bizarro.
Oh.
It turned out the big bad guy and who came back from the dead was actually just he was like a Bizarro. And so basically it was just and nobody was thinking about it, and that's the best thing. Nobody was, and that of course destroys who I thought was going to be under the mask in that Future's End for DC. I thought, well, maybe it was Superman from Earth 2 popping over, but we'll see. Maybe it's the Black Superman who is there right now. So maybe that'll be him and under the mask, though he shouldn't be. No mask. Let's have some cool shit. Let's see. She-Hulk for Marvel. Very good book. It was like I thoroughly enjoyed it. See, in She-Hulk base. These inventors came up to her and said, hey, we have this ray that shrinks people. And so she goes, like what, Hank's Pym's, the Pym particles? No, not like that at all. And so there's somebody who wants to buy the machine, and one of the parts is a two-person thing, and one person wants to sell it, the other person doesn't. So what does the other person who doesn't want to sell it do? He shrunk himself, and so they couldn't get to the stuff. They couldn't find him to try to sell it, right? So then and he shrunk himself in his backyard. So then she hired She-Hulk and Hellcat to go and try to find this guy in this giant backyard. They had to shrink themselves, so they went and grabbed Hank Pym, and Hank Pym shrunk him down. And of course, and basically Hank said, "Well, if he's been out here this long, like when you're this size, you're pretty much looking to get killed. So pretty much, I think this guy's dead already. So you got to watch out for stuff that can come down and get you, like ants could come and bite you, or the robins can come down and swoop and take you off and stuff like that. So he says, but don't worry, girls, you're with me. So you're pretty much, and as soon as he says that, a giant robin comes down and picks him up and takes him off. Leaving She-Hulk and Hellcat shrunk down, not knowing what the hell's going on, and having to still try to find this guy, and at the same time figuring what happened to Hank. So basically, they find the guy. He's hiding in this giant can, pop can, and of course they have all these cats are kind of batting this can around. So of course She-Hulk has to go and beat the crap out of the cats, and they all scatter all over the place. And while they're doing that, Hank's finally commandeered the bird, and he's riding the bird now. So it's like, oh, okay, that's good. So basically, it turns out that the guy really hates Hank Pym. And the thing is, there's something. And they talk to Hank Pym. So yeah, I've been reading up on all this. Like my Pym particles are stable. He's got something wrong with his math. Is that it's highly unstable. If they're down, like there's enough energy built up. If anything's left there for too long, it'll blow up and it'll take half this street with it. Half this block. So they have to try to find this guy. Because if not, if he stays down there, boom, everything blows up. So at the very end, they save him. They shrink him back up to regular size. They're growing back up to regular size. And it turns out the Hank was the buyer the whole time. And that's why the guy doesn't like him. He's, you're buying my stuff because it's unstable. I want to make sure all this is controlled, and that's how it ended up. And he cut off a bit of his finger while he was shrunk, the one inventor, and he left it in the can. Because, those pop cans are fairly cuttable. You can cut yourself in those. Have you ever cut yourself in a pop can?
No, I don't think I have.
Well, you haven't lived then. Anyway, so he left a part of himself in the can. Of course, what we talked about is that his molecules are unstable, so therefore that can has now become a giant bomb. So She-Hulk had to go and grab it, toss it up in the air, and as soon as she does it goes, woof, and that shut the inventor up, going, oh, I guess it was unstable. So it was very good. It was a very good issue. Of course, who writes that book?
Charles Soule.
Thank you very much. Another quality outing by Charles Soule. Absolutely. So what have you been reading, Tack?
The only thing I've read since last time is New Avengers 22, The Aftermath of Blowing Up the Other Planets.
Everybody hugging each other on the cover.
But it was really good. It was all Namor is just like, go F yourself, T'Challa. I did it. It was me. And then have you read it yet?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and then T'Challa's like, what are you talking about? We know you blew up the planet. And then Namor's like, that's not what I'm talking about, T'Challa. No. It was me when Thanos was invading and they attacked my Atlantis and they're like, where are the Infinity Gems? And I lied to them and told them they're in Wakanda. And then, that was just like, that was like such a great issue. Cause like the last issue was like the build-up of the incursion of them finally blowing up the planet, and this was like the payoff of the build-up of T'Challa and Namor. It's been going down, like, even before New Avengers and the AVX, and Namor was all, Phoenix 5, I'm gonna take out Wakanda with a giant tidal wave. Yep. And then just...
Every breath they take is a mercy from...
to the other one. Yep.
That's right. Oh.
And then they're like, it's over now, I have no more mercy. And then at the end, T'Challa's like, I will kill you if it's the last thing I do Namor. So yeah.
Namor's looking at his watch saying, yep, got no time for that. That's right. And then, of course, everybody leaves, and poor old Reed. Up, and all of a sudden the incursion time comes back up again, going,
Yep. That's what makes it so great, is like it's always there. It's like you don't know what's gonna happen. And then they just had a giant fallout, and it's like, oh, there's another incursion in 8 hours.
Exactly. Oh, it's still, like I said, there you go. How now you're left with that thing. How is Reed gonna get this all together in that short of time to get the team back together, or is this gonna be a Reed Richards all by himself trying to do this, and then is this gonna be Reed Richards standalone, his brain against this incursion or excursion, or is he gonna try to gather up the troops again and somehow?
Or maybe he'll be all like, well, Black Swan, nobody else is here, so usually under normal circumstances I wouldn't do this, but
Just
I need your help. Yeah.
And that's the worst thing they could ever do, because it's her thing. She goes and tries to get these heroes to fight, but she didn't realize that she was getting kings who will sacrifice whatever it takes to get the job done. And the also big thing that she's done this before, or at least you think, and then she tries to get heroes because they're the ones who will do the dirty deeds. But the thing is, now she's picked out the wrong kind of people. She's picked the kings, and like Namor, boom, he has to make those tough decisions. So there you go. Are you a big fan of Namor?
No.
Yeah? Good. You should be. Anyways, he's just like you, you know. You do the same.
How is he just like me?
Well, you do the same thing for your undersea people.
Actually, I would do the same thing. I would blow up a planet.
Yep. For those sea monkeys that you collect.
I don't know sea monkeys.
For my sea monkeys, I'll blow up this whole world. So what else have you been reading?
Well, I picked up some stuff I haven't read it yet.
What did you pick up? I'll spoil it.
Oh, actually, did I talk about Cyclops last week? Because I read that.
No, you didn't. Okay, carry on. Go somewhere else.
So yeah, Cyclops.
What issue is this? What number is this?
Issue 3.
It hasn't been canceled yet?
Shut up. So it's funny because there's a part where he's like, I think my dad is on drugs, because he has to like inject himself with this serum because he was brought back to life by the Starjammer crew because they died. But what's his wife's name with the tail?
Hoochie?
Hexaba. So, but Hexaba was all like, yeah, I can't let him die. I'm going to resurrect him. And then, they went to the Veil people or whatever they're called, the space people that do the stuff. And then they brought him back, but then he has to inject himself with these micro machines or nano machines that, not micro machines, nano machines.
That's awesome. That's a brilliant cross promotion right there with the micro machines.
They keep him alive. And then, but then he has like a limited supply, and then in this issue, their ship has been disabled, and then they crash land on a planet, and he only has like, I think it was 31 days or 32 days or some. He only has like he has like a limited amount of supply left, and then they're stranded on the planet, and they're like, well, hopefully our crew will ship, or else I'm gonna die in X amount of days. So that's their situation now. But he's like, well, I wouldn't want to spend it with anybody else with my son and get to know him. Oh, and then there's a part where
he act like he's on drugs, though. Like,
no, he doesn't act like he's on drugs.
Well, he said he's kind of like on drugs. Is he having like withdrawals now? And be like,
no.
So Cyclops like, Dad, do you let me shut up? Do you have my crank? Shut up. I have no son. I had a son. He'd have some drugs on him.
And then he tells him about wow, I forgot the dude's name, but
what happened? His father's not a mutant.
Because he just has the X gene, but it's not activated, I guess.
Okay. It's like,
that's how. There's a lot of mutants like that where their parents.
No offense. Let's take a look at this. He's had 3 sons. All right. Because there's a third son. I can't remember who the hell he was.
Was it Vulcan? I'm trying to remember his name.
I think so. Because they're teasing it with somebody else back in the 90s. So he had 3 sons who were mutants, and he's a galaxy trotting space captain. You mean to tell me that somehow there's no he's not a mutant either?
Yeah. Doesn't have any mutant powers.
Okay, well, he's sure shooting it out of him then. That's he's giving it to everybody else, but except for him. There you go. And is it a good read? That's nice. So basically,
it's a nice, if you're wanting a cosmic just swashbuckling adventure time through different planets across the space. It's good. I like it. A lot of different landscapes, a lot of different art as far as, oh, look at this planet, look at this, and they're all like different, and it looks very, gives that space feel of like every planet is different, and it just.
Is there any televisions coming out of Woman's Woohoo?
No, there's not.
Well, then call me when that happens. There's only one space adventure I want, and that's Saga. And that lady's on the. So who's more on the dope? The lady from
more on the dope,
or Cyclops' dad?
Definitely, that would be Alana.
Alana, okay, that's good. And of course, you can't go without the sex either. Bam, bam, boom. There you go. So, man, that's dirty. That's nasty. That's how that works. All right. So Cyclops. Now, is this a book you keep?
Yeah.
Nothing really is deterring you yet from.
It's slow going, but it's a pretty basic storyline so far. So.
And who's writing it?
It is written by Greg Rucka.
Oh, that's not bad then. Wow, I didn't know some quality writer was doing that. I thought they just put some throw it at some guy here. Write this. There you go. And also, you'd read Captain Marvel. You wanted to talk about that?
Not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel, close enough.
So it's cool because she was on this adventure, and then she stumbles into Wolverine. But like I knew like Wolverine was going to be in there because of the previews or whatever, but I didn't know how it was going to be handled. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Well, how many issues have this been so far?
Just the one where she it's called.
What was it?
Oh, you mean issues of Miss Marvel? I think it's number 6.
Okay, yeah, because really,
6 or 7.
Don't you know the Marvel rules? You can't have 6 issues of Wolverine in it somewhere. It's an unwritten rule. They say, okay, you have 5 issues to tell your story, and then the 6th one, you work Wolverine in it somewhere. That's kind of getting changed a bit now, because now, unless it's because now they're kind of throwing, it's either 6 issues or you throw in Wolverine or Deadpool. It's one of the two. You gotta have one of those two in there.
Yeah, it was issue number 6.
Yeah.
But it was funny because she's basically in the sewer, looking for this guy that's been after her, and she's like, "Why are you after me?" And then he gives her this spiel about why he's after her, and then he's doing this stuff in the sewer.
I'm
he's
sure
making
he's making these poo snowmen.
He's making these alligators that could be like mind controlled or something or whatever. It's weird, and like all these altercations on them and to make them genetically ginormous or whatever. And then Wolverine Wolverine's in there looking for a runaway mutant from the Jean Grey school, and then they have their encounter, and then he's in the shadows, so she doesn't see him, and then she goes to attack him. And then he just vaults over her like it's nothing. And it was like hilarious. She's just like, wow, that was so amazing. And then she just starts fangirling over Wolverine. She's like, you're Wolverine. I wrote a fan fiction about you, and it was like number 2 on this website. And then he's like, and then she's like, it was you and Storm fighting against these like black hole or like these aliens that fart wormholes or something. And then
fart wormholes.
And he's like, who got voted number 1? And then she was all, it was someone's story about Cyclops and Emma Frost, and they went to Europe on some romantic vacation. And he's just like, I gotta go, and he just walks off. Like, yeah, whatever.
If I was Wolverine, I would have stabbed her then. That's number 1.
And then he doesn't have his healing factor, so he falls in this. He has this really hard fall, and then she's like, "Oh, but I thought you could regenerate or had his healing factor," and he's like, "I did have it," and then she's like, "Oh, so this isn't going to be as easy as I thought," and then they get attacked by a giant alligator, and it's like, "Oh, next issue, giant alligator fight."
Yeah.
So that was great.
There you go, Grandpa. You okay, Grandpa?
Yeah, that's what it was like. He's like, ow, my bones. Because like there's like a part where like she's holding him up and she's like, man, you're so heavy, and he's like, sorry, metal bones.
So this is what I want to. I will buy the comic book that has Wolverine fall down and hurt himself, and then him turning to the people, say, I've fallen and I can't get up. I'll buy that issue. Just because of that, I'll buy that issue. I've fallen and I can't get up. Are you gonna pick up the Death of Wolverine?
No.
Good, because he's already been dead for years now. We talked about this last week. I still agree with it. Still, it's like that. No, what would you do to fix Wolverine?
I don't know. I
What's
don't know.
wrong with him?
You're the one that said it, not me.
Well, I'm just saying, what was wrong with him in the first place? I had to have him lose his power, and then have him to be killable. Like, to be honest, is this really stroking anybody's fire?
I think the reason as far as him being killable, I don't think it's as much as him being killable as it is like when he has a healing factor. It's like, well, he's kind of too overpowered. So,
well,
yeah,
you guys send him. See, that's the problem. All they had to do is take him out of that frickin' Gene Street. Like, you no longer teacher, have him walk off and be the loner guy again.
Yeah, but the problem with that is that he's supposed to be like, you know, the opposite of Cyclops. So it's like, you know, if Cyclops has his school where he's doing his thing, then it's like really interesting, or even more interesting when like Wolverine is running the Jean Grey school, which is like the main school.
So basically, Cyclops killed off another character. Cyclops the last laugh. He destroyed Wolverine. That's all I'm saying. So I did pick up, speaking of jerks, I picked up another essential this week because it's my vacation time. You know, I read The Hulk, which was a good essential. That was a good read. I picked up Power Man and Iron Fist. Very good read. I'm enjoying the 70s Marvel. 70s, early 80s Marvel. Everything past then, if I get these essentials, I just don't like. It's like I picked up Wolverine between 76 and 100 or something like that. Went right after he had his adamantium pulled out. It's like, blah. I couldn't even finish the darn thing. It was like, oh, God. It was like pulling teeth. It was like, oh, I don't want to read this. But now I picked up a book, and I've already seen this book. This book has been in the sale bin for like 3 years. And it's like, okay, I could either buy an earlier Power Man book, essential, because there was Luke Cage between 25 and 50, and then that turns into Power Man and Iron Fist, right? So there was that book I could have picked up. But I already picked up one, so I said, okay, maybe I'll get that next year. And then there's these other ones. There's She-Hulk that was on sale. I thought, well, that'd be nice to try out. Ms. Marvel from the early 80s I could have picked up. I thought that'd be interesting. I was thinking of Marvel Team Up, which I think I should have done, if anything else. But I ended up picking up this book because I said, you know something, let's give it a try. I've been hesitant about picking it up, and I said, let's try it out. And it is the Essentials X Factor number from 1 into like 20. And that is with the original team back together again of X-Men. So that was Marvel Girl, Cyclops, Iceman, Beast, and Angel. Boom. Let's give it a try out. And you know what I think?
Really good?
Biggest waste of my frickin' time there ever frickin' was.
Oh my.
If I thought that frickin' Wolverine was pulling teeth, this is like pulling other things out of me that I don't have. Oh my. And it's written by, the first couple of issues written by Bob Layton, and then it gets into Louise Simonson, and then into Walt Simonson doing the artwork, I do believe. And so I'm trying to get to that, but it's like dredging myself through glass to get to it. It's like, oh, this is so horrible. And here's the whole premise of X Factor. Okay, Jean died. All right, we all know that, right? Phoenix. But then they brought her back, and so I had to explain how they brought her back so they can bring the whole team back together. And this is a time when everybody hates mutants. Magneto's the new teacher at the Xavier Institute. This is like back in the 80s, and they gave the reformed Magneto, where he went to the secret world, teamed up with the X-Men instead of being against them, and so he kind of turned into a nice guy for a bit. And then, boom, everybody's set. Now, so basically they said, okay, let's bring back the original team. So they did that, and so how they did it was that, okay, we're going to create a team called X Factor, and we're going to pretend that we will take care of your mutant problems, but at the same time, we're going to actually take the mutants and train them ourselves, and therefore they're not a threat. But to everybody who sees us doing it, they think we are like the exterminators. We exterminate the problems, when in fact we're saving them and then training them to learn their powers more. Well, that's a colossal pain in the ass to read. And that's all I'll say. It just sucks. It sucks. And then Angel's trying to hit on Jean. Cyclops is married to Madeline Pryor, and they have the baby Cable. So you can see Cable in there. And then and it's like blah. It's like Get me to. I'm hoping when I get to Louise Simonson writing, it's going to get a little bit better. But I was a bit surprised by how much this is like. Oh, it hurts so much. It hurts. Tekken.
Yeah.
It hurts. And it's just like, give me back to Hulk Smash. Hulk is struggling.
Give me back to Hulk Smash.
Give me back to Hulk Smash. It doesn't matter what kind of bad guy it was. It was like, stupid Hulk's gonna smash him. I said, that's good. The book will be nice to, like, if I need to kill something, I can hit over the head with the book, like a mouse. I throw the book at it, it'll kill the mouse automatically. That's how much it weighs. But other than that, I'll get through it. We'll talk more about it later on. Because then it's like Cyclops saying, "Well, do I tell Jean I'm married because she's been gone for so long?" And it's like now we're into like 4 issues in, and he's still debating. Now Madeline has left him because she knows what's going on, because she looks just like Jean. Why? I can't tell you. I'm not going to spoil it for you. But it's like, okay, and it's like now she's taking the baby and run. So now it's like, oh, she left me. And then Jean. Jean, and then Jean, and then Beast. Just the past issue got de-beastified, so that was good. Because everybody knows the ever loving.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because if they're on the outside, they can't be looking all mutant.
Oh no, somebody kidnapped them, and then proceeded to give them anti-mutant drugs, and so because the scientist who was doing it was actually, his son was a mutant, so he's using Beast as a test subject. So do that, and if it worked, then he would use it on his son to make his son normal again, right? So then, but at the same time, he got de-beasted. So now he's back to being Hank McCoy, human. Well, I shouldn't say human, mutant, but without the fur. Because from reading your #1 of X-Men, was that when Beast was first brought in, he didn't look like the Beast. He was actually
normal looking.
He just had big feet, lucky guy. Now, so now he's back to being the big feeted man. And so we'll see how. And of course, as we know, that doesn't last very long. We'll see what how long enough it lasts before he's back to being Mr. Blue Fur. So Kelsey Grammer, I guess you'd say. So there you go. So that's my dead of the week is X Factor. It's like, and there's another one in the bin too. I'm going, I'm not gonna pick that up now. Forget that. I'll pick up She-Hulk and take the Ravage from my wife. I'm gonna pick it up because She-Hulk, the early She-Hulk, all she was like a white rag over her, all ripped apart to cover the goodies. So, Hulk smash. So is there anything else you want to talk about, Techie?
I just saw something else I didn't talk about, which was X-Men: The Last Arc finished with the Future. So
is this the Last Will and Testament, or is this something else?
This is something else. This is the X-Men with the lady team.
Okay. They still around?
Yes. And the new issue, which came out yesterday, that I haven't read yet, they go to space, but I haven't read it, so
Hopefully they get lost.
But, Chimera, Storm's daughter from the future, was all able to help save Shogo, and there was some weird bloodline thing they fought. It was weird. It was interesting, but you know, it's kind of hard to describe. It's like DNA goes into the forest and makes it alive or self-aware or something. But yeah, and then and it's cool. They like used a bunch of it's weird. It's weird and cool because like they used a bunch of students, and then Cyclops said something about, well, we're not like that Cyclops guy or something. It was funny because they had to like, you know, they're like, the school's under attack anyway, so they're like, well, we're being attacked now, so we got to defend ourselves and all this stuff. So they didn't use like a lot of students anyway, but it's just like a small team. So, but you know, they're still short-handed right now with everything going on with the X-Men. So
who's on the team now?
In this issue, Rachel Gray, Jubilee, Storm, Psylocke, Monette, Beast is there, Chimera, which is Storm's daughter.
It's an all-girl squad.
well, Beast isn't really like on the team. He's just like, you know, for like technical support.
Oh, there you go.
And then they've got a bunch of backup students like Tixie.
Now, there's a hero. I want to see that as a hero.
Or Sprite, not Tixie, but Sprite and Cypher. So they were there. It's a fun read. And then and it's cool because like they had like a backup story for like several issues, and they're like a bunch of mutants training in the danger room, and they're like, well, we wouldn't be on the front lines helping. All we ever get to do is like stay in school and not do anything. And it was Brew, Wiccan, Rockslide, and some other dude, and then they got to the short stories were called Bromo Superior Part 1 and through whatever, and then in the last issue of the arc they finally got to help with the fight against the future. It was pretty fun. And they're like, yay, we get to go out to the front line and fight.
And die.
They didn't die.
A couple have to die just to prove the point that, you know, the danger room is the danger room, but you know, you go there, it's like...
That's what Psylocke told them when she saw them training in the danger room with their program. Because what happened was they were training and they hacked into it, but then they messed up and they turned the safeties off. So it was them against like a bunch of feudal soldiers. It was pretty cool.
See, that's what I like about Mass Effect, is when you're meleeing, so all of a sudden you bring out the big orange energy spike, and it's kind of like Cyclops, and you give him the good old stab. That's what I like about that. Makes me feel good. Well, why don't you just drop that book? Drop that book, Tech.
I'm not dropping it.
As a friend, I have to intervene now and say, you gotta drop that book.
Why?
Because that book's not good for you. It's rotting your brains.
Not rotting my brain.
There you go. It will eventually.
Well, there's a new writer, so we'll see what happens.
And who is the new writer?
Mark Guggenheim.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Wasn't he supposed to be writing the Green Arrow book?
I have no idea.
It's not an X-Men book. Scam my drugs. That's right. Perfect. Well, Tekken.
But yeah, there's been 17 issues of this and like barely any Wolverine. So just saying.
Oh wow! Well, it has an X in it too, so there's the exception to the rule. Unless it's an X book, and then you don't need him. But he has snuck in there.
Like at the very beginning, he was in there, but
which one?
Not since like issue not like the first few issues.
No, he popped in around issue 6.
No, he was like in the very beginning, or not the very beginning, but issue maybe 2 or 3 or something.
That's good. Well, he's do that.
Because there's an issue where him and Jubilee have like lunch, and they talk about old times and adventures in the past.
Do once in a while when they gather all around and when they're talking, they go, "Hey, I wonder what Wolverine's doing."
Actually, I'm looking it up right now, and it was issue 4, so it was within the first 6 issues.
There you go. See? Exactly. And the thing is, when they're gathering around talking about stuff, so they go, Logan. They say like, Logan when Teacher Logan, everyone like is like doing this.
Huh?
Does he get mentioned at all in the book when he's not if he's not there? Or does he get mentioned?
Not. Maybe if. No, I don't think so.
No, you will now double check for me. You'll go through all the issues and just say, if they mention him, then that counts too. It's like Homer and Poochie. If he's not there, they should be talking about him at least. Hey, where's Poochie? I wish Poochie was here. That's what they should do. There's Logan. Oh, Logan would be teaching us this. Oh yeah. Oh, Logan's gonna be mad if we find out. Yeah, exactly. Still counts. Well, perfect, Tekken. Thank you. Anything last things you want to say?
I will finally be able to see Guardians of the Galaxy next week.
Who are you taking?
Nobody.
You gotta take somebody.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Where do you sit in the theater? Do you sit up front?
No, I sit in the middle where I can see.
Everybody? You see where you see you guys sit in the back.
I don't like sitting in the back.
You guys sit in the back, so just in case somebody comes out with cause
if it's not tall enough. It depends because I'm not a tall person. So if someone can sit in front of me, then I won't be able to see. That's why I sit in the middle. So if someone sits in front of me that I can't see, I can just move to the side.
For the people out there who have listened in for this last hour, how tall are you?
5'3".
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
You're like 7 foot tall.
No, I'm not.
Okay. But you got big feet, and that's all that matters. Just like the Beast. Hey, maybe that's why they call him the Beast. You ever think that?
No, I didn't.
Well, maybe you should have. I think that might be it. Oh my goodness. Now, so video game wise, what are you playing this week?
Oh man, this is weird because I'm not playing Mass Effect. I don't know, man. I might start The Witcher, or I might do something else.
The Witcher?
Play some PS4 stuff.
That's out of the blue.
Well, the third one comes out next year, and I want to be ready for it.
So you gotta play Witcher 1, Witcher 2?
Yeah. Or Bioshock. That's the other game. Bioshock is another game I haven't played that's people talk about, but I haven't played. I played Infinite, but I was like, eh. But then everybody's like, well, the first one's really good, so.
The first one was very good. The second one kept freezing on me in the same damn part of the game, and I had to play it twice. I played it twice over, and the second time it froze on me in the same spot, and I said to myself, don't you freeze, and it froze on me. I said, screw you, Bioshock 2, screw you, I said, and I just flipped it off. Didn't play it again. You only get a couple.
Also, Sleeping Dogs is on my list.
You only get a couple of chances with me, Tekken. Don't screw with me. I give you 2 chances. I just screw you. And I don't do it again. But Sleeping Dogs, you're saying? Or Watch Dogs?
Yeah, no, Sleeping Dogs, because after they showed the air quotes remaster, I was like, oh, I still haven't played that game. And I was playing it for a bit, and it was fun, but then I just didn't go back to it, so. Hey,
maybe we can play some Mass Effect tonight.
Oh, yeah, we can do that too. But now that I have time, since, we're Mass Effect 3 multiplayer for a while, the future is infinite or something.
You should put that on a shirt.
The future is infinite or something.
And on the back say or something. All right, Techie, lead us out, my friend.
All right, so that's it for this week's Comic Book Talk podcast. If you have any comments, leave in the comments.
I'd like to apologize for the whole Luke Cage sticking in the wrong hole comment. It's true, he did. I shouldn't have said it in the context of this podcast. I want to apologize. I have big feet. I've never seen his feet. Apparently, compared to the Beast has some pretty damn big feet.
So yeah, thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to bag and board it. Don't bend the edges. Or if you're reading digitally, don't forget to get your issues before the next ones come out or something. And until you see or hear from us again, we're now signing off.